I'd have three thoughts very quickly. The first thought is to read across as broad a spectrum of input as you can find. As you and I know, and as I'm sure your listeners know, there's really no such thing as an objective news source anymore. It has to do with the very way that news makes a living, that media makes a living. There was a day when you could attract advertising and financial support by being objective, by being the Walter Cronkite, the person out there that could say this is the way it is, and people would just believe that was true. Today, that's not the case, of course. Now people are moving really toward what they themselves want to hear and consume. And the various channels know that. So Fox knows who their constituents are and what their audience that they're trying to read to or get to, and their advertisers know who that is. And MSNBC knows who they're trying to reach. And so each of the various news platforms and channels has their own agenda. They have their own way of communicating the news and even choosing the news that they're going to report. And so it's kind of like a Bible translation. Someone asked me Sunday, which is the best Bible translation? I said, well, kind of depends on what you wanted to do, whether it's the Message over here, the New American Standard over here, the various theories, depending on what you're trying to do. So the first thing I would do if I were starting from scratch trying to engage news is I would make certain that I'm paying attention to a broad spectrum. I'm reading the New York Times over here on this side. I'm reading the Wall Street Journal over here. If I'm reading USA Today over here, I might be reading the National Review over here. And so I'd want to get kind of to a broad spectrum of input.